I seen one of them guys. I don't know what site that was on
All
the other day.
right, good evening, everybody.
Hey,
Different encounters he's supposed to tell us about. Maybe he'll join us here in a minute. And our other co-hosts, BC Davis and Neil Huff, is supposed to join us. But I'm going to go ahead and start everything. How's everything been going, Dale?
oh, pretty good, winter. Pretty good. Looks like winter's trying to set in, huh?
Yeah.
Got much colder today than it has been.
Yeah, just damp and kind of cold and miserable if you get out. It's a good day to stay by the fire. I've kept the office barrel stove just cherry red, and it's been doing a good job.
Yeah. Yep, that'd be nice. I hadn't been so far. Hadn't been too hard to keep the house heated. I'm not looking forward to that ice and stuff we'll get later on.
Me neither.
BC
says he'll be there in a little bit. He's running late. BC, he said he's running late. He'll be here in a few minutes. He messaged me. Next week, we're going to try to get back up to our location there at the Sylamore National Forest and do some more scouting and see if there's still activity there. All right, Harley's on now.
How's it going?
All right, how's it going? We just talking about we're gonna have our guest here, and glad you can make it.
Yes, sir. I'm glad I can make it as well.
Yeah. We was going over one of your videos here before we're on air here, me and Dale. That's some good footage there of it standing up and walking off to the right there and everything.
Yeah. I went over there to that area, but where he was walking, it drops off over into the creek bottom, and there's a bunch of laurel trees down in there. And I guess on how big he was, I'd say he was easily 8-9 feet, if not bigger. I mean, because it was a slope right there, and in the video you can see he's not on that little flat right there. He's on over that little drop off, and he's
over the drop off. Yeah.
And I walked over there to where he was, and I tried to do a recreation of it, and I managed to count it off, and he walked that distance in 5 seconds, and it took me 35 seconds or something like that along those lines. But it was a lot bigger than me. I'm 6'6", and it blew my mind to how big it was.
Yeah, you can tell it's wide, whatever it is, and you can tell it's kind of crashed down, and then it stands up and walks off. Really, you don't see all of it. It looks like it's at the knees is the part you see, but that's because it's on over that hillside, like you're saying.
Yeah, and I went out there for a little bit this evening, but where I've been gifting them and stuff, where I put 2 rocks, I stacked them on top of each other. They had been just knocking the rock that was on top off, but today they put another rock underneath, so now it's 3 stacks high.
All right. We actually already got started, but we hadn't introduced everybody. I'm Wendell Hurricane Burris, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Seekers podcast. And we're glad everybody's here tonight. And we have a guest that's going to tell us about his encounters. And we'll just let everybody introduce yourself and go Dale, and then down to Neil, and then Harley. All right, Dale.
Well, hello, guys. Good to see y'all tonight. Coming from Heber Springs, Arkansas. I'm glad to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing Harley's account of this and hearing it. Good to see you again, Neil.
I'm Neil. I'm from the Cass, Arkansas area. I'm researching Different areas right now. I'm about to start a 6th. Looking forward to this. Definitely looking forward to this next race, and I'm definitely excited about having someone new on the schedule too. Welcome.
All right. I'm Harley Owens. I'm from East Tennessee. So I never really expected Bigfoot to be a real thing, until I actually seen my first one 3 years ago. And let me tell you, it changed my life forever. And man, now I'm out doing research out in the wilderness, and I started December 7th. So just January 7th, I'll be doing it for a month. And I've got all kinds of images of them watching me, and I've got stills of them from my videos, and I've got a video of one walking from right to left, and let me tell you, that blew my mind that creature was right there, and I never even seen it, because I was looking around at everything else, and I was looking around behind me and everything, but I go back and I look at this video, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's one right there, a little 30 yards from me, and I never noticed it. It's crazy how something so big can be so quiet, and it's, but I look forward to talking about my encounters with y'all tonight.
I was going to ask you earlier if it
it's
made
going to
any
be
noise.
amazing. I'm going to try to.
Pretty good size.
Yeah, I'm 6'6", and I went over to that area where he was at, and I'm guessing because there's a little bit of a drop off there, probably about 2 or 3 foot drop off. So you can barely see his knees in the video, but I'm guessing he's 8, 9, if not bigger. He's massive. And he's broad, probably 3 feet wide. He's massive.
Go ahead and load the video here. I'm going to try to anyway.
Hang on just one second.
There we go.
Oh, all right, I'm back. Yeah, that's as he's walking underneath the tree that's laid over. He's just walking right straight through there. And I think he turns and looks at me again, but I'm not 100% for sure. But I mean, if you look closely, you can see his left arm swing just a little bit. But he's right there. You can see his arm just a little bit.
I'm gonna start it over. There we go.
Yeah, you'll see his arm swing just a little bit. But I mean, I learned now from that point of view, I just need to slow down with everything I'm doing, because I mean, I very well could get another video like this, and I hope I do. But it blew my mind that he was right there. Now I've managed to get some I've done some enhancements of him. I got some screenshots of him, and I've enhanced the images of him, and you can see him plain as day. But I mean, everything's so shaky. I wish that I had something to hold my phone at the time, but I didn't. I do now though, so I have a lot of stable footage. Yeah, but he was sitting right there watching me, and then he's kind of hunched over, looks like, and then he starts to stand up. But it blew my mind that he was right there.
All the way behind.
But I hate it so shaky. I mean, it's just.
Oh yeah, we know all about that. I mean, It's hard when you're out in the field, because it always lasts when you expect it's where it's going to be, or something else will happen right at the wrong minute. That's actually a good glimpse of it and everything.
You just want to tear up this living room?
I mean,
you're lucky if you slow it down.
You're lucky if you can even get a video of one, because that's the first thing everybody asks you. Why didn't you take a picture of it? Well, I saw a big black panther run right across the highway in front of me. Saw it for 300 yards. Did I get a picture of it? No. I didn't even think about it. I was too busy watching it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm documenting everything. I mean, there's there's a chance that I can catch one, if not multiple different ones, and which I have. I've got pictures of a white one, actually two different white ones, I believe, and then I've got some that are brownish red looking, and there's black ones. I mean, there's so many different ones that I've managed to capture, and it's blew my mind. It's just I never imagined it. Just doing a short amount of research that I have in a time span that I've got these images and at this video. But I mean, right there, you can see him plain as day. He just walked from right to the left, right across the stream there, and and then I like when I'm trying to.
This is the one with me and Dale was looking.
Yeah, the slow motion you can see it a lot better, but I still had to like zoom in on it and do all that other stuff. But I mean, you can see the figure there plain as day, but it blew my mind.
Right. Let's see if I can get some of the other.
Yeah, that was December the 7th was when I captured that one, and I captured 3 other ones that day besides him. I captured 2 brown ones. And
usually they don't run by themselves. There's 2 or 3 of them that come up.
Well,
That's
I believe
that's why I was just thinking. I was wondering how many was with him that he didn't even know about.
I believe that there's more than 5 or 6.
Let's go on up.
Yeah, I mean, I found the structures. There's a triangle shape on the ground. Yeah, that's the track that I found up on the main trailway that leads up into the main mountains, like right in the heart of Smokies. I mean, I mean, you can see the heel indentation, and you can see where his toes dug in the ground right there on top.
Oh, yeah.
That ain't a bear track.
Yeah.
I mean, I wear a size 12 boots.
No.
And I guess on the size range of that track is probably 16, 17, if not 18 inches. And it was every bit.
Right. I'd say it's pushing 18 inches.
Yeah, it blew my mind. I mean, it's right there, plain as day, and it kind of scared me a little bit, but I was like, it'll be all right. I mean, they have no intentions of hurting me that I've noticed anyway. But I'm not going to say that if I done something wrong, they wouldn't run me out. But it's just
right.
It
just depends on your actions, and it depends on who's been there first in the squatch that you run into, and depends on if you run into 2 that's different clans or something that's irritated with each other. We've had all 3 of them situations go on.
Mm-hmm. And I can believe that, yeah. Which I mean, I don't know how many are actually in this area, but I do have a photograph of something else, and it's definitely not a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch or anything like that. It looks like an upright canine.
Yeah.
And I believe there might be a dog man running around this area. I mean, I didn't even know these things existed until when I started sharing my encounters and stuff, and people was telling me about these dog men, and I was like, man, that's an upright canine. Because when I seen it in the video, I was like, okay, there's a Bigfoot right there watching me because he peeks out from around the tree. But sure enough, it looked like it had the snout and it had the ears. And I mean, it's clear as day.
There's a lot of discussion on that too. There's a Gowie Bigfoot that has a snout and ears like that. So sometimes I believe that's what people are mistaken for the dog man. But also,
the only thing that stuck out with me about this thing was it was slender. It was like its top was real like thick looking, but as he went down, he slimmed out a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know nothing about Google. I've never heard that before until you just mentioned it. So I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I can get a different picture up here. And
all right.
Oh. What's this? A picture? The scat?
No, that's walnuts. They're in that area there. They're in that area right there. There's rocks like that all in through that little flat area, and there's walnuts busted. To my knowledge, squirrels don't do that. I don't think bears do. I mean, those walnuts are on that rock, and you can see where they've been busted, and the insides have been eaten out of them. And when I went into that area today, I put out some hare traps. So I'm going to try and get some hares from that area. I put them about 6.5, 7 feet tall, so no bears could get into them.
That's something I was wanting you to talk about. We hadn't utilized that, a hare trap.
What do you,
How do you arrange that, or how do you fix that? That may be something we want to do.
So I go to Walmart, and they in the craft section they have Velcro strips.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I'd cut. Actually, hang on, I'll show you. So they have these Velcro strips right here. So this textured side right here, not the side that actually Velcros, just the fluffy side. I'd cut it just long enough to where it would stick down, and I'd cut it. Then I'd get the Velcro side.
Yeah.
And I'd cut it just enough to where I could hang it on here, but still have this dangling down, so when they walk by, their hair brushes off and it catches in there.
That's interesting. Never heard anybody do that before.
Yeah.
Well, I learned that from Scott Carpenter. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's East Tennessee.
Yeah,
man,
I've heard of him and heard of his work.
Yeah, he was from here in East Tennessee, and this particular area that I'm in, I learned from an individual that Scott only went into this area once, and he never went back. I don't know if they ran him out or what, but he told me that Scott only went in this area once, and he never went back.
That happens.
And I've been in here for January 7th to make a month. So, yeah, that's a big twist break right there. My wife is actually with me when I took that one. And actually on that day, shortly after that picture, I could hear one walking back there. And I was like, okay. So I holler at my wife. I thought it was in the trail stand. And I was like, I'm gonna go back there and see if I can see him, catch him on film. Well, I go walking back through there, and I found this another structure that was back there, and I'm looking around. I can hear it over to my right, and it's real thick over in there with them laurels. And I look, and I catch a glimpse of him walking through there, and I was like, okay. So I turn around and look, and I see him peeking out from around the tree, and I was like, all right, I got you. So I'm sitting there trying to video him and stuff, but he's peeking in and out, and I managed to just get a still of him whenever he peeks his head out, and all of a sudden, over to my left, there was a loud snap. And then instantly, right after that snap happened to my left, there was one behind me stomping his feet real loud. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to ease on back out of here. But what was funny was I never carried a knife until that day. And I went in there and I had my big Bowie knife on my side. And I was like, it was on my right side, just so coincidentally. And when I turned to look at that one, my knife was on my right hand side, and then to my left was that loud snap. I was like, that's just crazy. They knew I had that knife on my side.
Oh yeah, they know. They're amazing with eyesight and smell. Any of our panelists here, Dale or Neil, y'all got any questions y'all want to ask him?
You said whenever you seen the dog man, how far away was it?
Probably about 40 yards.
That's too close.
He was close. He was close. I don't know if I sent Wendell the picture of it or not. I think I may have. I'm not for sure. I could probably send it to him right now, but I don't want to take a chance of messing up the live. But I don't know if I did or not. But he's there, and I mean, you could see it plain as day because all I seen was the brow, and I was like, okay, there's a Bigfoot, and then it wasn't a Bigfoot. After I zoomed in and done my enhancements of the images and all that.
You find any footprints from the dog man?
I don't even know what they look like, to be honest with you. I mean, from my knowledge, I would have thought that maybe it was just like a really big canine track. I don't know for sure. Yeah, those are some of the structures that they've made in that area.
Yeah, that's interesting there.
Yeah.
Actually, that structure right there, the guy that told me about that area, he came in there that evening whenever I left. That structure was not there because I do not remember seeing that structure because I documented every structure that I found, and that one was right off the trail, and I don't even remember seeing it. I was like, no, I don't have a picture of that one. Every other one I have a picture of, but not that one. So they had made it when I left earlier in that morning, and then by the time he came in. So they're in this area. I don't know why. I mean, maybe they've been in there forever. I don't know, but they're in there right now for sure. I know. I actually seen one tonight, and I don't know if I caught him on film or not. I'll have to finish looking through my footage, but I think I know I seen him. I don't know if I captured him or not, but I know I seen him.
Right.
Did you ever find any juvenile tracks in there?
Do what?
I said, did you ever find any juvenile tracks in there? Any small ones?
I think I found maybe one or two. They were down over in the creek side from where the individual walked down in through there. But I wasn't for sure. I mean, I couldn't really make them out to say for certain. I mean, I'm sure that there is. I think that I have a juvenile on camera, but when I capture one of them, he's standing there looking at me, and then I noticed there's a subject laying flat on the ground, and his head's laying like that, flat on the ground. I think that one was a juvenile because it looked smaller than the other one, but I'm not for certain. I mean, I'm guessing there might be juveniles in here, but I'll have to just wait and find out.
Well, if there is, take extra precautions. Okay?
Do what?
I said, if there are juvenile in there, you need to take extra precautions.
Oh yeah, I'm precaution. I use every precaution. I talk to them. I talk to them in Cherokee a little bit. You know, just I tell them I'm a friend. I'm not here to harm them. I'm just here to learn. You know, interact, just be in their presence. You know, because they're quite interesting to me. And it's just I just have this feeling. You know, I know when I'm being watched by them. It's just like a sixth sense. It's just this, you know how it is. Your hair stands up, and you just have a feeling you're being sent.
Do you ever, or have you, since you hadn't been at this long, have you done any night, anything during the night, or just daylight?
Tonight was the only time that I've ever been in there in the evening hours, and I think I heard maybe a couple of whistles, but I'm not for sure, and I'll have to go back and listen to my footage. But they've definitely, like, you know, some people say they can mind speak, and I definitely think that they've been trying to do that with me because it's just like a little outside voices, you know, like it's not your conscience, it's like something else. But
Right.
there's a lot of things that can go along with that, but you know, I don't think that it's. I mean, maybe these things can do that. I mean, I'm not for certain yet. I don't have actual to say so for that. Quit. But
That's where we're at too. I mean, we've had a lot of encounters with them and stuff, and been in some hairy situations that we shouldn't have been. But
well, I actually got bluff charged today. So
yeah.
I was putting out a couple of apples in this area that I know that they've been in, and sure enough, I heard, and it just blew up and stopped. And I was like, whoa, I'm friend. I was like, look, I just started showing the apple in the direction that the sound came from, and I was like, look, I said, here, you can have it. I just set it down, and I turned around, and I walked back.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So I mean, I show them that I'm not going to hurt them or any way or nothing. I just talk to them, and then I just talk to them like I'm talking to you. And so far, I'm still here. I'm not missing or nothing. So far,
yeah. That's why I say 99% of the time, all that works good till you find the one that's been upset.
Well,
you run out of apples.
I think. You know, the only thing that really has bothered me so far is not them. It's definitely the dog man that I captured. That's literally the most startling thing that I captured. I mean, from what I've heard about them, they're not good.
No.
You're right. I mean, they're not.
And until this year is this last spring and this last investigation, we went back to over by Ball Knob is the first time we've run into 3-toed ones. And everything that reports that we've heard from everybody is that's the ones you don't want to mess with. So they can get aggravated too.
Well, I mean, it probably wouldn't take much to aggravate these things. I mean, I want to ask y'all something. So what are your takes? What do you think that Bigfoot are? Do you think they're an ape, a relic hominid, or something else, something supernatural?
Well, in all of our groups, we've got all that.
Well,
Depends on who you ask in our group. We argue with ourselves, but I'll go first. I believe they're the length of Esau. Esau out of the Bible says that he was born covered in red hair at birth as a garment, and then he growed up and married 2 wives that was from the giant bloodline. If you take red hair and a giant, I mean that's pretty much sounds like Bigfoot. Then it even goes even further than that. One of the wives was a troglodyte. They lived in caves their whole time around Israel there in the mountains, and they never come out of the caves much. So there you go again. Bigfoot lives in a lot of caves, but that's my personal opinion. And I use a lot of the Sumerian texts and the ancient Hebrew and the tree structures to track them down. That's what I use and read it and kind of go with that. As what, according to the ancient Hebrew, what it says. So, and it's always paid out where it says there's water in this direction. If you go in that direction, you find water, you find a source of food. In this one tree structure will say this, like the giant X that you find, bigger the X, the bigger the alpha male is. Arch is you're entering our territory. And it's always panned out for me. I don't know about other people. I'll let Neil, what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. All the other, you hear some of the experts are kind of changing their tunes here lately. Like Jeff Meldrum, he's come out and he was starting to talk about Gigantopithecus, which is, in my opinion, is there's no way that's because what you think about there's Ardipithecus, there's Australopithecus, there's Homo sapien, Homo erectus, there's Peking man, Zinjanthropus, Lucy, all these different ones you've heard about. Well, the scientific community classified those as ancient humans for one reason, primarily bipedal. And that's how they classified. Now, how in the world they're not classifying this as ancient humans, I don't know. But they're much more intelligent than an animal, much more. More. That's my take on it.
I'm gonna say they're. I don't know. My description would be an opportunist. You got to be careful with giving them apples, man. When you run out of apples, you're probably going to run into problems. Not going to scare you or anyone listening. Just be careful of that.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't or anything, but that could lead to something. So people be aware of that. If you don't mind me asking, how close is your house to where this is at?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of thoughts on what they could be. I mean, a lot of people say they are a Gigantopithecus or a relic hominid or even aliens or extraterrestrial. I don't lean into the alien or extraterrestrial. And I think about the Gigantopithecus theory. Those lived around the same time as woolly mammoths and all that other stuff. Well, they're extinct. So wouldn't Gigantopithecus be extinct too? I just try to think outside the box a little bit, And then, whenever I started listening to this Scott Carpenter stuff about, them possibly being a descendant of the Nephilim, I got to thinking about it. I was like, most eyewitnesses talk about, they'll see them and then they'll be gone. So as I'm looking into this more and more, I'm like, okay, so that can make sense.
I'll move the thing off this
And
stuff. Hold on.
hang on, I have to move to another room.
What happened?
He had to move to a different room. I see
Oh,
you
okay,
joined us, BC. You doing all right, BC?
Well, yeah. I was on Facebook before I got here real quick, and I clicked like on a couple of posts, and next thing you know, I'm in Facebook jail for an hour.
Oh.
Who the hell? I'm sorry. Who in the world does an hour's time in Facebook jail?
I don't know. I hadn't heard of that. Usually days in Facebook jail.
No,
Nah,
1 hour.
I've
So
said
your
weeks.
account is restricted for 1 hour. I'm like, what? 1 hour? Okay, fine, whatever. I got other places I can be.
Hey, stay out of my cell, BC. I got it just like I want it.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right.
But man, alive! Happy birthday, Wendell. By the way.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
I'm over the hill and going down. I'm 51, so it's going to be a fast slide downhill now. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, thanks, man. My odometer hits 62 next March.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be 24 March.
Young whippersnappers.
Yeah.
Young buck. But
I'll be
anyway,
I'll be
anyways,
68 in February.
I'll be 21 in July.
All right, Harley, as you were saying,
so as I looked into Scott's research and stuff, he's got DNA from these things, and the DNA shows that it's human. But as they looked into it further, it showed like the nuclear DNA, mitochondrial DNA was not human. It was something completely different. So it like the way they looked at it, it showed that the individual shouldn't be alive because of the mutations that it had. So going along with that, the Nephilim, with them being offspring of the fallen angels and, human women, angels aren't alive. So, that kind of correlates into, with what they were saying about the DNA, it's showing that this individual shouldn't be alive.
right.
So, as I kept looking into it more and more, and as I'm out here with these creatures, they're there and I don't even see them. Either they're cloaked or the infrasound effect or whatnot. It's mind blowing to me. I got hit by infrasound again today, and it hit me so hard, where I'm sick, it just made my chest real heavy, and I had to break out my inhaler, and it hit me hard.
Neil knows all about how hard it can hit you. And our other guy, he's about your age. He don't do a lot with us no more, but Marcus, he got hit with it hard. I'm hoping he'll be with us next Friday. We'll be right there by his house. I got to contact him. But Friday, we're going on a scouting trip back to Sillamore and area out then. And then in February, we're the 23rd and 24th, we're going to Neil's area there, Dale. So mark that on your calendar. Yeah. Unless something happens January, I got stuff going on in January, and if it messes me up, then I won't be able to go. But that's our plan, to go February 23rd and 24th. And
now my birthday, Neil, my birthday is the 26th.
All right.
We'll have to celebrate then.
For early birthday presents will be accepted.
All right.
Yeah.
Definitely do that.
Yeah.
We'll have to have us a barbecue for your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Harley,
Yes, sir.
Sean was talking about, like, possibly being part human or something like that. This is a casting of a footprint that I got in my area over here in Franklin County, Arkansas. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm going to try to use a lot here. It looks like a normal footprint, except for,
The dermal ridge.
yeah, right here. But also, too, this big toe and the second toe here has some kind of webbing coming off of it, and it lines up all the way down through here.
Huh.
You can't tell, but
Yeah,
it
I can
actually
see that.
comes
I can
off
see
over
it.
here to the side too.
Yeah, I can
So,
see it. Yeah.
I mean, so a little mixture of human and something else. I can't explain what I think it is.
Right.
That
Yeah.
there is one of the reasons why I can't answer that question, because I can't explain this
Yeah,
until
that's
I can
odd.
explain this. That's a good picture of it right there. Until I can
Yeah.
explain that right there, I don't have an answer. So
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that.
that's the best
I've
answer
never
I can give
seen,
you right there.
out of all the Bigfoot tracks, that I've seen pictures of the cast and such, I've never seen that on one. That's odd.
Whenever I
I,
found
I
this one, it was coming from a cave, and I think I casted a total of it's either 7 or 9. I don't remember.
oh
But
wow,
this is the best one I casted, though.
wow.
They were just going right down this ditch line coming from a cave. Actually,
Yeah,
coming from
I actually found a couple of tracks this evening. They're probably about 16, 17 inches. But it was getting right at dark, and I didn't want to stay in there too long. I didn't have my flashlight or nothing. I mean, I had my phone flashlight, but I wasn't going to stick around. So I give them their space. I respect them.
Yeah. You have to do that, yeah.
Because that's their home. It has been for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. And I've just been coming in here for a couple of weeks. So whenever I'm doing what I'm doing, I respect them. I thank them for showing themselves. If they show themselves to me, if I actually see one. So it's just blowing my mind. That I see these things, and it's been a life-changing journey for sure. I just started my group not even 2 months ago, and I've already got almost 600. Actually, I'm 10 away from 600 members. So I'm going to be starting my YouTube channel in January. So it's going to be exciting.
That brings us into the next subject I was just fixing to tell you about. Be prepared. Once you start making waves and you're getting good stuff, then people start watching you. Yeah, and I'm not talking about your fans, but I'm talking about
The critics.
the critics and possibly government interference.
Well, if the government's going to interfere with me, I'm just going to let them. I mean, I've already got phone calls.
Yeah.
I've already got phone calls from people telling me to keep my mouth shut. Don't be sharing anything. But what am I still doing? I'm still doing it. I ain't going to let them stop me. The truth needs to be told. It don't need to be denied.
That's our point. And so I'm surprised tonight that the signal and everything hadn't cut out, and weird stuff happened, and people just show up in your area that ain't supposed to be there, and then we've had black SUVs show up and just sit there, and we go to talk to them, and they drive off. So in our areas, in the middle of a national forest, brand new SUV black show up.
I've had the forest rangers pop up on me out of nowhere several times.
Hey, actually,
they know I ain't stupid. They know what I'm doing in there.
In my research area today, they put up a sign right there on the trailway into my research area, and it wasn't there whenever I started doing it.
What's the sign say?
It said, "No feeding wildlife." Blah 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 blah.
I bet it does.
I bet it does. Our main research area at OARC now is the home of the endangered long-eared Ozark bat. And we can't do this, we can't do that, and we're always monitored because of this bat. And nobody ever even heard of this bat till we got to investigating Bigfoot there.
Yeah.
I believe it. You know,
Harley,
they're the way I look at it. You know, if people is going to judge me and criticize for what I've got, even if they can see it, I mean, if they can't, that's fine. You know, some people can't see what others can,
Yeah.
but you know, if they're going to criticize and deny me, that's on them. You know, they're just lost. So that's just the way I'm going to look at it. You know, I'm a down to earth, good old boy from the mountains of East Tennessee, and I wouldn't steer anybody no wrong way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
Harley, how
BC,
close are these things to your home?
Huh?
How close are these things to your home?
25 minutes.
Really?
Right in the heart of the Smoky Mountains National Park.
Something you may want to watch for is being followed home.
Well,
that has happened to me before. Be careful.
well, you know, I think they've already have.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Because there's a drain that washes out the ground behind the shed at our house, and you know, it makes it pretty muddy back there, and there's probably about a 15, 16-inch track right there behind the shed.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's that's good enough.
Yeah, I couldn't cast it because it was wet, you know, but you can see where it stepped, you know, something heavy stepped right there, and it was probably about a 15, 16-inch track right here behind the house.
I assume you have small children, right?
Yeah, I got 2 daughters, one that's 3 and one will be 2 in March, and then I have a 3-year-old boy. Yeah.
Be very careful. They're drawn to children for sure.
Yeah, they are drawn to children. And if you start having issues, sometimes game cameras will push them back, if not push them away. Hopefully away.
Right.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can sense the infrared lighting and stuff off of them, and I've been debating on putting. I've been debating on putting trail cameras out, you know, and I think they can smell what they make them out of, and they can definitely sense the lights. But you know, I've thought about putting trail cameras out, putting them about 8 feet up, if not a little higher. You know, I mean, I can reach up there and put them that high if I have to. I can climb a tree just a little bit, but you know, I don't want to put them out there and you know them just go to waste. You know, them they can tear them off or whatever. You know, I mean. It's just hard to say for certain what they would do with a trail camera.
Yeah,
we've had all the above stuff happen with them, and we've even been in one area there. All of our trail cameras, the batteries all exploded in them. That was crazy. Yellow junk run out of all the batteries, and it's all brand new batteries. And people brought them from different spots.
Right.
We had a drone helicopter come in and circle our camp, and that was whenever all the batteries and stuff. We don't know if the batteries were just a bad set of batteries, or if it had something to do with that drone, or
that's crazy.
We don't know.
But you know, I think whenever they do this infrasound, I think you know if you kind of think about it, maybe it's like whenever the batteries or whatnot fail or whatever, I think it's kind of sort of maybe like a EMP attack or something like that. You know, like I think that they can do this infrasound because you know I want to look into it before I say for certain, but I think that electromagnetic fields may be responsible for why they can cloak or whatnot. Because it's only if they're supernatural, for which I think they are. I think they can harness that kind of energy and use it to their advantage. But the fallen angels. I mean, we don't really know for certain what angels can do. Most certainly a fallen angel. We don't know what for sure they can do. I mean, it's just I just think outside the box. Honestly, I probably think too much, but it's just something that I like. I ask myself why or how, and I just keep asking questions. I bring myself more questions than answers, unfortunately.
Been there, done that.
Yep, it's part of it. It's a never-ending wormhole.
one thing that we've been having, and when we've had all these encounters and videos and everything, just systematically we've had our areas be, normally they're in big hardwood growth areas that they hadn't been in that area cutting or doing nothing, and then now all of a sudden they come there, instead of hauling the trees off over here at Ball Knob. That's why I'm fixing to ask BC what he thinks about that. They just cut them and piled all the trees up. Well, what good is that?
Well, it could be that
I mean, it's not like these were small oak trees.
No.
Thing 3 foot diameter,
wildlife habitat.
Yeah.
Is what they'll say, like for rabbits and so forth.
All right.
But yeah, it's just odd that where we had that sighting a year ago last month, then the following year that place is cleared out. Now I know they do that every once in a while, every so often at various spots, but it just seems a little too coincidental to me.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was supposed to bring up about Neil's area. Luckily, the further back half they hadn't been into there no more, but that's actually where the bats would be. If that's maybe why they hadn't trimmed it, but all the area there, that's what they did to it too. They cut all the front and everything. It happened to be right where our area was. That's twice this year they've done that.
They did a number on it too. They did a serious number on it. Like, I remember how thick it was coming up in there, and it's nothing like what it was before. They did a number on it.
So you can expect that next.
Yeah, that's something that watch for logging now. Since you said something, be logging. You'll see.
Yeah. Do y'all have any laurel trees out there?
Any what?
Laurel trees?
Not that I know of.
Well, I didn't know if y'all had any out there or not, but we have them here in the Smokies. They stay green year round, and that's where I've been capturing most of them. I managed to see them peeking out at me. And I see them on my video, and I screenshot it, and I do my enhancement on the images and stuff because whenever I'm panning through there, if they're sitting there peeking out at me, they'll just freeze. Just to blend in with where they're at. And I've sent several of them to you, and there you can see their faces, you can see their eyes, nose, and their mouth, and it's just mind blowing. I mean, they're using these trees. I mean, they're just green year round. That's why I picked out this design on my shirt, because that's literally what they'll just stand there and watch me.
Right.
It's true, great stuff. I mean, and I want to catch more vocalizations like what I captured from Virginia because I had a spectrogram, whatever you call it, done on the audio that I captured from Virginia. These creatures that I captured made a vocalization from the range of 300 hertz all the way up to 2,000 hertz. So it's the vocalizations from Virginia.
I may be able to play some of these vocalizations if I can get it.
Yeah, those are actually done from the spectrogram, and they got cleaned up and all that. So they're a lot clearer than what they were.
Fuck you, whatever the fuck you gave me. Oh, I don't know what I need. I feel like I literally need water.
That's one of them. Let's see if I can play the other one.
Yeah, that was the first one that I captured. That was the night after I saw it. The other vocalizations, they were a little farther away. I mean, you could still hear them, but they weren't as close as they were the first night.
Don't take no more of that. Get yourself an animal, bitch. I'm not taking nothing of that. You got it, shit, or are you trying to stop today?
That's definitely interesting.
Yeah. He sent me the results of the spectrogram. 300 hertz all the way up to 2,000 hertz. That's out of the range. It's kind of. I mean, he told me that like an average male vocalization can go from like 250 hertz, and whatever this thing was 300 hertz all the way up to 2,000. So
Yeah.
definitely not a human.
Our big yelp that we caught on camera that time, Dale, was 1,500 hertz. A lady from
Really?
Ohio,
Yeah.
scientist lady, contacted me about that. She said, "There's no way that none of us could even heard it." I said, "No, we didn't hear it."
That's the one. That's the one about the chicken on the tailgate. Is that what
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's 1,500 hertz right there.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was. Well, Harley, do you have anything that new that you're thinking about you want to try or anything?
I've thought about it. I definitely want to get into putting some trail cameras out, and I want to learn how to cast tracks, but I'm not really for certain how to do it. I mean, I've bought some casting stuff like the plaster of Paris, but I gotta learn how to do it, so I can cast tracks. I'm going to put out some more hair traps in this area. I thought about using tape too for hair traps, but I think the Velcro is going to do pretty well if they walk through that area, and there's some hair manages to come off. I've thought about making mock structures to see if they would interact with those, but I'm not for certain. I'm still learning every time I go out, and I watch as many videos as I can from Scott Carpenter because I'm trying to learn from him, because if I hadn't watched from learning from him, I wouldn't even be doing what I'm doing. But the way he did his analyzation of his videos, he went through it frame by frame, and that's what I did. And sure enough, I managed to capture multiple different Bigfoot, Sasquatch on camera, and I managed to get a dog man too. So I was kind of on edge about the dog man. I didn't think they were maybe real, and just like Bigfoot, sure enough, there's dog men running around. So it's definitely interesting stuff for sure.
Right.
But it's I look forward to my future in this. I'm still young. I got a bright future ahead of me, and I'm not in this for the fame. I'm not in this for the money. Whenever I start to make these and stuff, all the proceeds are going to the guy that makes them for me. He's a small business owner, so all the money's going to him to help him with his business. Yeah, I'm not in this for the fame or the money. Like I said, I want to bring awareness to people that these things are real, and they're not the friendly Harry and the Hendersons kind.
No, not all of them are.
I'm not all of them are. No, that's correct. I think there are some good ones, but not all of them are.
We can get into a long rabbit hole discussion. Back to the Esau deal and the giants. The only way a giant can be saved if he protects one of us. So that's the only way one of them can go to heaven if they protect us. So that's a long rabbit hole to go into.
Yeah,
you got
the whole Nephilim giant.
Yeah,
it's a long rabbit hole that just keeps on going.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But, one of our new deals that we're going to try to get away from the infrared is we got GoPros, and of course they're not night vision or whatever, but we're going to rig our lights up to where they'll be on a string, and that string, when it trips, something runs through and pulls that string, the lights all come on. It lights everything up. You may only get a few seconds of video, but it'll be there because the GoPro's filming constantly. It'll only get dark, images until them lights kick on. But there's no infrared there. So if the infrared's what's alerting them, which we believe it is, and up to the smell too, we have a spray that we spray on everything. But a spray that we spray on everything. But that way there's no infrared, and when they trip that wire, they're going to be close enough to the camera. It's going to get good video. That's our newest project.
Hey, I'll tell you another thing you could probably do is get like a back mount for a camera recording behind you. That's what Scott Carpenter did. He had a camera recording behind him the whole time, which I've been recording from the front and, from my sides and stuff, and I've managed to capture them. But what Scott done, he had a camera on his backpack that faced behind him, and that's how he captured just Bigfoot Sasquatch that he did. He had that back trail camera that was watching behind him, and he'd catch them peeking out from around trees or whatnot.
Yep. And also, since it's waterproof, Neil's got we got an area that's a kind of like a lagoon where water falls running into it. We're going to put the camera into the water to where just enough of the camera is pointing up that while it's video, and if something comes to that water, and that's where we found several tracks around this pool of water. So that's when we go in February. That's our plan.
Yeah, I've actually got a big investigation planned for this area on January 7th. It'll be my 1 month doing Bigfoot research. So I'm gonna have me and some boys from North Carolina coming over, and we're gonna hit it hard. We're gonna set up more traps. We're gonna put up trail cameras. We're gonna try and cast every track that we can find, and just cover all of our bases. And it should be a pretty successful investigation, I think. I hope it is, but I just hope I don't push these things too far. I respect them, and I don't want to cause no conflict between me and them, certainly. But It's going to be interesting to see how this investigation goes. I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to go hit it with thermals, drones, everything.
That's good.
Yeah. It should be exciting, I hope.
You got
The one thing I can give you advice on as far as casting footprints is go to YouTube and look at some of the videos that they show on YouTube about it. That's actually what I did first.
Okay.
And I think it was like 2 weeks after I watched the YouTube videos. I think it was Scott Carpenter's the one that did a casting of a footprint. If I remember, I think he videoed it. I think it was his video I learned it off of.
Okay.
If I remember right, I think it started at the mid-tarsal break. You kind of let it just fill into the rest of it until it fills. If I remember correctly, it's been a couple years ago when I did mine, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to be done. But watch the YouTube videos. That will help you a lot.
Okay.
A whole lot.
All right. Yeah, because I don't want to make it too thick or too thin. I want to make it just right,
And be patient with it, because I know whenever I did mine, I wanted them dry quick. It doesn't work that way. You just got to leave them alone. If you think about it, mark them. Of the time, the date, cast number 1, cast number 2, or whatever. If you think about it,
right.
That's one thing I didn't do, and I do regret it.
And
you're doing good.
We've always got on to ourselves and everything. Now I have 3 of them. Tape measure. Take a tape measure.
Yeah, tape measure. Yes.
That way you can put down and you got an exact measurements, because if you don't, everybody will complain to you.
Yeah.
Measure
I've had my fair share of people who tell me.
That's what
measure
we'll
your
show you.
footprint. You measure the stride, and you measure how wide your footprint is. But also your stride too. That's something that they look for, is your stride.
Yeah, and it's going to be a straight line too, right? Straight line.
Yes.
For the straight line.
Mine was, yes.
Harley?
Yes, sir.
We usually carry this right here with us. This is Walmart has these 4-pound cartons of plaster Paris. Yeah, this is half of a carton. It's about 2 pounds. It takes about 32 ounces of water. You can pour it right in this gallon bag. Carry this thing with you dry.
Yeah.
You can just unzip it, pour 32 ounces of water in it, close it up, squish it up. There's your plasters.
Okay.
Almost perfect consistency at 32 ounces.
A lot less weight too. A lot less weight. You'll be thankful for that too, because when you get out there in the field, you're gonna wish you had a bag to mix it or a bucket or something. Those bags will make it pretty easy to do.
Okay.
You'll be happy with that bag. It will help you a lot.
Yeah, I don't care to get my hands dirty. Hey, it's just
Yeah, I hope
what
not.
it is.
It's gonna happen.
You will. You get it all over you.
You are gonna get it all over. Yeah.
BC, you come in late here. You got any questions you want to ask Harley, or anything kind of comments you want to tell him?
Can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like him, I really enjoyed Scott Carpenter's video, and it was just a huge loss to the Bigfoot community when he passed away.
Yeah.
And I believe, like you, I believe that they are Nephilim or descendant of the Nephilim, because I had an experience 34 years ago this month that I remember like it happened yesterday, when I was stalked in the woods and turned around when I got to the creek bank and looked, and I could hear the steps, but I couldn't see a thing. And I went from like confusion to absolute terror in like a nanosecond. And fortunately, I had a double barrel shotgun with me. And you'd be surprised how fast a person could fire and reload when they're scared. But I shot my way. I mean, I was firing all the way up the trail till I got back to the car. And I've never been back down there since. That was 34 years ago.
Crazy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that's not my only experience, but
they've definitely followed me. You know, I've been paralleled, and I've got images of it paralleling me. You know, but it's like it was ahead of me, but I see it going through the laurels. He's walking underneath the laurels, and he was peeking his head out, and I managed to get a picture of his eye when he was looking at me, and he was paralleling me to my right, and I was walking on the ridge side, and he was over paralleling me the whole time. And it's crazy how they can just be there and just you don't even know it.
Have you heard one chatter talk, or two of them chatter talk yet?
Had one to my right, but it was kind of towards this way from me, and then I had another one to my left behind me. It was like a really, really weird, like a yep. That's what it was weird, super weird.
That was my first experience one as a teenager. Is one was on one side of a creek, one was on the other side, and I was above them on a bluff trying to figure out what in the world this was. Squirrel hunting. And
that's what they sound like. They're mimicking squirrels and stuff, you know.
Something like that, yeah. I don't. But then all of a sudden, rocks started being thrown, and I'm like, I'm out of here. This ain't.
You know, I've only had them throw a rock at me once so far, and it was one that whenever they gifted me the feather, you know, sticking up in the fence post, and I was looking at the feather, and I heard a thud behind me, and here comes this rock rolling up and hits me on the back of the heel. And I picked it up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's pretty." So
I have had that happen. You talked about it hitting you on the hill.
Yeah,
that happened to me before.
Yeah, it wasn't a little rock. I mean, it's big enough to fit in the palm of my hand, so it wasn't a little one. It wasn't a little one. It literally thudded, and I heard it, and I turned around and looked, and it rolled perfectly and hit me in the heel.
It's kind of a weird feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, because I knew I was being watched, and then I hear the thud, the rock just comes rolling up and hits me on the heel.
Yes, been there, done that. It's kind of a creepy feeling. Yes, I can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. They're so smart and intelligent, and it's crazy. And, you know, I want to finish what Scott Carpenter started. You know, I looked up to him. You know, I've recently looked up into his videos, and I didn't know he passed away. And, you know, I was like, man, if only I could have met up with him, you know, and put our minds together. But, you know, our time on this earth is, we don't need to take it for granted, you know. We don't. We don't know how long we have. We don't know how it could be any minute, any second, any day. It's just a matter of time. We don't know when it's our time to go. But I want to leave behind something for my family, you know, for my kids, my great grandkids, grandkids, anything, anybody, I want to leave behind something.
Okay.
It's
What
Scooby
I'm
Doo.
doing, in reference to what you're talking about, leaving something for the kids and stuff. I'm leaving a recorder that's got some pretty detailed stuff and a little small journal. Very,
Hey,
really
I've
small
started
journal.
a photo. I've started a photo album. I've got my big binder, and I've already started printing off the images of the ones that I've already captured. So
Okay.
I've already
Yeah.
got that started, and I've got it dated and all that stuff. So
Okay. Well, you're definitely on a good start.
Yep.
Congratulations. Good
Good
job.
track.
thank you.
Not bad. I'm impressed.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad to see
Just
someone like that
just
get
20,
finished. That's good.
just 23 years old, and I've only been doing it for a couple of weeks. Like I said, January 7th will be a month, and I've already been interactive with these creatures, and I've seen them and got them on film and got pictures of them, and I just wonder if this ain't my purpose, just look for these things and do what Scott Carpenter did.
I can understand that. Something I want to throw your way is you look much into missing 411. You know much about that?
Nah, I don't. I'm not really familiar with it, but
You
I
might want
thought
to go ahead and
about it.
start looking into that stuff just to see
Oh
what
yeah, definitely.
you need to look into that because there's patterns of certain things that want to be very careful what I'm going to say. In my past experiences with certain things that has happened in the area that I look around in, I'm going to tell you, you need to learn that stuff. There's patterns that they look for as David Pilates. I hope I pronounced his last name right.
Yeah, he
He's
was good
over
friends
in
with
New York
Scott
City,
Carpenter.
Texas. Yeah, I highly recommend looking into his work, and I think he's onto it. I think he's really, really onto some stuff. But there's some things that's happened in my neck of the woods that just didn't get an answer out of, and it fits the profile to the T. For a long time, I really don't talk about it. I'm at the point right now I don't care anymore. So, but
There's a lot more to this world than what we take for imagining. It's me being a non-believer in Bigfoot, now a believer and Bigfoot researcher. It's opened my mind to anything that's possible.
yeah,
If I may jump in here, a couple more channels I'd recommend. One is Thinker Thunker. That's
Oh,
one
yeah.
word. And
Yeah.
MK Davis.
Okay.
They break down audio and video, and you'll learn a lot there too.
Okay.
Some really good stuff there. And yeah, that Can-Am missing 411, most definitely start looking into that as well.
Right.
MK Davis has a gift. He is good at what he does. He is
Oh
really
man,
Mm-hmm. You hear that one, Tire Talkers?
good.
Thinker Thunker is good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
analyzes
thought it was a
stuff
good
real
one.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just hope that some people look into my stuff. What I've got just as good as what Scott's even captured. And it's just mind blowing to me. And I just feel like he's looking down on me, like, you're doing good, kid. I just feel like he's steering me in the right direction. Like I was telling him earlier, I was like, Scott only went to this area one time and he never went back. And here I am. I've been in here for almost a month now, and I've already got all these images and videos that I have of these creatures, the structures and everything. And they're interacting with me. They're making glyphs, and I make glyphs back, and they interact with the glyphs that I make, and it's just blowing my mind.
Yeah, that definitely do it. One thing I brought up on the last one, and Neil said, "Why'd you just tell me this?" But if you're ever in a situation where it's your last and you're figuring this is fixing to kill me, all you got to say is Elohim Racha. And
Why did you stop telling me this?
I told you that last time.
I know. I'm taking it.
Hey, speaking of which, there was a term or phrase that Scott said, and it was on one of his videos that he captured the Bigfoot that he used on his hat and stuff for his Sasquatch Awareness Project. He was saying the phrase "elote adena." Apparently, that was captured on film by some Bigfoot in Texas saying that. that I don't know. Scott didn't know what it meant. He didn't know if it was Hebrew or what, but evidently
Hebrew.
Huh?
It's Hebrew.
Okay, well, that's it's something, but it ticked off the Bigfoot that he was in that area with, and he got out of there, and it was at one of his feeding stations. I don't know where it was, but it's somewhere in the national park. I don't know how far from where I'm at, but it was definitely interesting.
A lot to learn, and then once you think you're on the right track, that'll change all the game. And new stuff will be entered in all the time. I guess I've been in there since really 2011, but then 2014 is when we had my first encounter with it. And there was 3 of us that saw it cross the road at Fout. But Dale, how long you been doing this?
Sir, me and
Going
her have to go to the hospital, and
on
so
6 years.
Okay.
Which
Going on 7. I think.
good, because if she's got to go to the hospital, I'm not watching her by myself.
BC, how long you been doing on this?
I got into it in 2018, but I had my first experience in 1982, and I may have had one as early as 1977. That area I mentioned where I was stalked in the woods, I think I had a lost time incident because I remember sitting up on the bluff, at this, and I think I pointed out the area to you, but I was just overwhelmed with this get out, I need to leave. And I remember looking off, looking, and it's like, it sure doesn't feel like I've been out here that long because the sun angle was a lot lower than I would have expected it. So yeah, I've had experiences for a while, and I think my mom saw one looking out the window when I was about 2.5. She was rocking beside an open window, and she looked out and saw what she called a weird face. So I think maybe my first one might have been almost 60 years ago. So a lot of activity over here.
Hey, Wendell.
Yeah.
Can you pull up one of those pictures? I want to show one of those pictures real quick. I don't know if I can see it or not from your screen, but I'd like to show one of them.
Hey, Wendell, have you showed him a picture that we got out there at Hurricane Lake?
Group?
That's a spooky picture.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you might want to show him that sometime.
Is it the one? I will. Yeah. The one with the rock and the feather, or is it the next group?
Hang on, let me look.
With the faces circled.
Hang on, let me look. It's where I sent. It's where I told you thank you, and it should be the very last picture that I sent you. It's the one that's in the laurels, and he's got his head kind of sideways like this, and he's peeking out looking at me. That's probably one of my favorite ones so far that I've managed to capture, other than the white one. The white one, you can see him plain as day. You can see his eyes, his nose, and his mouth just sitting wide open like this. And he's just sitting there looking at me. I think I sent you pictures of the white one too. I think. I know I sent you the white one behind the rock. I actually got a picture back from there today and showed that the figure's not there. But I mean, I've got so many different ones on film. Let's see. Yeah, that's the one of the video. Yeah, that's the one from the video again. That's an enhancement of him. You can see him real good there. Yeah, I mean, I'm just so fortunate, to have captured all of this. It's blew my mind, really. If I could figure out a way to like stabilize the video edit to like make the video stabilized where you're just walking through there, I would love to have that. Let's see. If I have to, I'll send it. I'll resend it back to you. Let's see. All right, I resend it. I resend it. Yeah, there's
right.
one. That's a good one right there. You can zoom in and see him real good. There was a brush pile right there, and he was. I guess he was crouched down, kind of, but you could see his eye, his nose, and his partial of his mouth. Yeah, but I mean, they're within 30 yards of me, and I don't even notice it until I go back and look at my footage. You know, I feel they're there, but until I go back and look at my footage, they're right there. Just like Scott, I mean, he would capture them on film, and then he goes back. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Look at that. You can see him plain as day. That one, he was probably about 25 yards away from me. You see his eyes, his nose, and his mouth.
Yeah.
Partial of his mouth.
What went through your head when you seen them that close? What was going through your head? Just
I
curious.
knew if I knew if they were gonna hurt me, they would have done it. But I have a feeling that they can sense if they can trust you or not. If they don't trust you, they're not going to do that right there. They're not going to actually show themselves like that.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean that's a remarkable picture. I love that. I mean, you can literally see the details so good. I mean, you can see how he's kind of just got his face kind of scrunched up, and you can see his eyes, his nose, and his mouth plain as day right there.
You be real careful,
Oh,
man. Yeah, I mean, you have a gift. Just, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm convinced you have some kind of gift. You need to be careful with your gift. Don't let that.
Yeah. I want to show you. I'm going to send Wendell that dog man too. I'm actually going to send it to him right now. So hang on. Check this out. So this was from last week before I got sick. This thing, whenever I first seen the dark spot right there, I was like, okay, that's a Bigfoot. But then whenever I got to looking at it, I noticed that it wasn't a Bigfoot. I sent it, Wendell. Check this out. This is not a Bigfoot. This is a upright canine.
All right.
It blew my mind. It scared me. Yeah, that's it right there. That is not a Bigfoot. You can see the snout and the ear. I don't know if you can zoom in on that or not.
See if I can go and make.
Hope so. Because it's
No. It
well,
let me
darn.
zoom in.
Well, if you want, y'all can look me up on Facebook, Harley Owens, and check out my group, Bigfoot Reports and Data. I'd love to have y'all. Well, I'm trying to get my camera. Yeah, there you go. Bigfoot
All
Reports
right.
and Data.
Okay, hey Mike, if you're listening, if you can get this and compare it to the picture that you were talking to me about, do that for me and see if you can see if they look pretty close to the same kind of animal. He'll be watching the video. He knows what I'm talking about. He's got a picture of one too that I just want to see if it's close to the same size or not. Those are the one he has.
Here is I'm gonna resend the picture of the white one that I captured. I think this one's a juvenile because he looks awfully small. But if you look, the first picture right here, he's kind of hunkered down in behind that mossy rock. Then in this second picture, he kind of peeks up just a little bit. I sent you the white one that I just recently captured. But he kind of crouched down in behind the stump. I can just see a little bit of the side of his face. He's white and he's got a black face. You can see him right there. He's white and you can see the top corner of his black face.
That reminds me from whenever I was a kid. My situation. It kind of makes me think about that.
But the next picture, you can see where he kind of perks up just a little bit, and you can see more of his black face.
You can definitely tell it's Harry. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see his dome. He got a cone-shaped head, and he's just sitting there crouched down, just watching me. Yeah, that's when he kind of perks up just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, I'm credible. I mean, I'll even resend the picture of where I retook it today, and that figure is not there. I'm not pulling anybody's leg or nothing. I mean, I'm legitimately doing it. So, this picture that I just sent is that area where I captured that creature, and it's almost identical from the video. He's right there. He's not there in the picture that I took today.
Alright, put that down. That's not yours. No. Put it down. Put it down.
That's the same area, that same rocky mossy stump, whatever it was, but it is not there. So,
yeah, the white's not behind it. White looking.
yep. I
you
think
ain't definitely got some good stuff in a good area.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm like Neil. I think you're gifted, and I'm hoping you have these people that's coming in. You said from where was it? Kentucky or
North Carolina, right?
North Carolina.
Their organization is North Carolina Investigate Sasquatch, NCIS. Rob Effler, George Lunsford, and
Awesome.
Eric Cougar. George Lunsford is actually an author.
It definitely
wrote several books.
Definitely needs more investigation and time, and hope y'all get some good evidence. And
yes, sir, absolutely. Yeah. Anytime y'all boys are out here in East Tennessee around Gatlinburg, give me a holler.
all righty.
I'll be glad.
Same thing here around Arkansas.
All right, absolutely.
Anybody got some final comments for we're like 3 minutes from where we got to start paying. So
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Happy New Year. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, Happy New Year. I'm looking for this next year to be eventful on the stuff, the dates that we got and stuff that's going on. And it sounds like you definitely have some good stuff. We'll be looking to see anything you want to share. I'll definitely share it on our pages or cross share or anything
absolutely.
you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anything you want to share on my page, feel more than welcome to share. Absolutely. I don't tolerate none of the troll BS, so I monitor it really well. I don't tolerate it.
That's what we do too. All right. This is going to be our final comments. I'm going to tell everybody bye, and then have a good and happy New Year, and we'll be looking for any new signs. And if you have any activity, give us a message or call. Anything you want to say, Dale?
Well, I really enjoyed having you here tonight, Harley.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure
Hope
to
you
be here.
can join us again sometime.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it. Look very much forward to it.
All right.
But be careful. Just don't bring them home with you.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I've already done that.
Okay. Happy New Year's to everybody.
Harley, thank you for joining us, man. And you got some pretty good pictures, and you got a good thing started there. Just be safe, be smart, be patient. It's not going to unfold all at one time. It never does.
Yeah. Safety
Don't
and
let,
patience
and
are
do
probably.
not let yourself get lured into something. Don't let them trick you into walking into an ambush or something. Watch for that stuff. If something don't feel right, then it's probably not right.
They're never alone, Harley. Never.
Period. Very true.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
BC, anything you want to say?
No, nothing to add at this time other than been nice listening to you, Harley, and heed their words. Be extremely careful out there.
They just brought
Yes,
me
sir.
in.
Absolutely.
Yep, he got me.
You made it
last
just
minute.
in time. Yeah, we're just fixing to close off here, Barry, but we've had an interesting discussion here.
Well, I just got in from work a couple minutes ago, and we gonna wish y'all a happy New Year. God bless you. Happy birthday.
You too, Barry.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, you have a good New Year. And
There's the camera. There.
there it is.
Come on.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. I hope you have a good New Year.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you very much.
She got a real good report.
Awesome.
Good.
Bonafide miracle. They ain't gonna have to do no surgery or nothing.
Sweet.
Praise the
Good
Lord.
deal.
Amen.
Yeah, God's
Amen.
good. Better than I know how to describe.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Well, have you had any activity in your area? We already asked everybody here, but have you, Barry, anything going on?
Not really.
No.
Not really.
No. Trying to get you in there too.
Hard to do.
Yeah. We had we might hear something every now and then. Sounds like a whoop or a thump or something out in the woods. That's about it. Nothing definite.
Too bad you ain't close enough to hook up with Harley.
What's that?
I said he's got a lot of activity in his area. He's got some good pictures that's here on the. You can watch the replay of all this. I said it's too bad y'all ain't close enough to hook up and go. I mean y'all's on the east side of from where we're at. Y'all's closer than the rest of us together. What exact area are you, Harley? I mean general area.
Newport.
You up by
Newport,
Newport,
Tennessee.
Kentucky?
Tennessee.
Oh,
Tennessee.
okay. I'm on the opposite end of Kentucky from you. I'm closer to Newport, Kentucky.
Oh, that's a interesting.
I'm in North Central. I'm right down from Covington and Newport.
Well, I was hoping y'all was closer and y'all might work together, but just a little bit too far.
Yeah. Yeah, but anytime y'all are out this way, just give me a holler.
All right, I may do that. I'm looking up saving some money and trying to go out to where Barry is, and then I might just go on to here and then over to Ricky Weaver. Maybe sometime this coming fall. It'll be a good trip. He lives in Georgia, so I'll make a big circle and come back.
Yeah,
All right.
Dale, Neil, BC.
God
Be sure
willing,
to
that'd be
check
nice.
out my group.
Yeah, you want to plug in? What's the name of it again?
Bigfoot reports and data.
That's something
Yeah,
you can
but
check
I
out,
hate to
Barry.
go, but I'm gonna have to jump off here, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go too.
Smart.
All right, thank you
Everybody.
again, Wendell, for
Yeah.
having me. Look forward to chatting again.
It's our pleasure.
All right, well, we'll see
All
y'all.
right. Good to see
Good
you.
night. Thank you again.
Good night, y'all.
Good to see everybody. God bless you.
Yeah,
You too, Barry.
we had a pretty good show. Like I said, Barry, but you need to rewatch it here. It'd be worth watching.
All right.
All right. Sorry, we was already closing. Good to see y'all.
Are y'all getting any snow? Mom wanted
We
to know.
got some flurries last night, heavy flurries, but then it was gone. But as soon as daylight,
It's flurrying when I come in out there.
it's that
All
time
right.
of year, though.
Yep.
All right. I'll see everybody next month. I'll see you Friday, Dale.
Sorry, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.